they don't have to feel excluded in their own university.
Imagine a university campus divided, tensions rising, and students taking a stand for what they believe in. That's what's happening with the academic boycott of Israel. It's a controversial move that's sparking debates and protests. But what exactly is this boycott, and why is it causing such a stir? So, let's delve into this video today to understand what's happening. Israeli universities play a big role in supporting Israel's occupation and apartheid against Palestinians. They help create weapons and military strategies used in conflicts in Lebanon and Gaza, support the takeover of Palestinian land, and justified mistreatment of Palestinians. These universities also discriminate against non-Jewish students and violate human rights and international laws. To stop these actions, Palestinian civil society has called for a boycott of these Israeli academic institutions. Many academic groups, student governments, unions, and thousands of scholars worldwide now back the academic boycott, refusing to accept or support the ongoing oppression. But why does this boycott of Israeli universities happen? The campaign for an academic boycott of Israel began in April of 2004, initiated by the Palestinian Campaign for Academic and Cultural Boycott of Israel, or PACBI, as part of the broader Boycott, Divestment, and Sanctions movements. This campaign aims to apply international pressure on Israel, specifically targeting Israeli academic institutions that PACBI claims are complicit in sustaining Israel's occupation and apartheid policies. The goal is to use these boycotts to push for changes in Israel's treatment of Palestinians. Since its launch, academics and organizations in Palestine, the US, UK, and other countries have proposed various academic boycotts of Israeli universities and scholars. Proponents of these boycotts argue that they aim to isolate Israel to force changes in its policies, which they consider discriminatory and oppressive, including restrictions of Palestinian academic freedom. For decades, Israeli universities have been integral to planning, implementing, and justifying Israel's occupation and apartheid policies, maintaining a close relationship with the Israeli military. For instance, Tel Aviv University has developed numerous weapon systems and the Divestment doctrine of disproportionate force used by the Israeli military in actions against Palestinian and Lebanese civilians. In 2011, the University of Johannesburg severed ties with Ben Gurion University, citing its involvement in Israel's human rights violations, including the theft of Palestinian water. A study by Human Rights Watch also highlights institutionalized racial discrimination against Palestinians within Israel's education system, including its universities. Firstly, Israeli universities are closely tied to the country's militarism. They are seen as an organic part of Israel's military establishment, contributing significantly to military research and development that denies Palestinian rights. For example, the Technion Institute develops military drone technologies and remote-controlled weaponized bulldozers used to demolish Palestinian homes. Tel Aviv University is known for developing the Divestment doctrine, which advocates for the use of disproportionate force against civilian infrastructure and was implemented by Israeli forces during operations in Gaza. Additionally, graduates of the Hebrew University's Tal Payat program, sponsored by the Israeli Air Force and Army, used their education to advance military research and development while serving in the army. Secondly, Israeli universities play a crucial role in developing the infrastructure of oppression. They contribute to the ideological foundation of the Israeli colonial regime and produce knowledge that supports the subjugation of the Palestinian people. In collaboration with Elbit, a leading Israeli weapons manufacturer, Technion has been instrumental in the construction and surveillance of Israel's separation wall, which the International Court of Justice declared illegal in 2004. Moreover, Israeli universities often directly participate in the colonization of Palestinian land. For instance, Hebrew University has been involved in the confiscation of Palestinian land in occupied East Jerusalem, with some student accommodation located in illegal Israeli settlements. Next, there is significant racism and open support for Israel's crimes within Israeli universities. The Association for Civil Rights in Israel has condemned these institutions for disciplinary measures against Palestinian students who protest on social media against the university's support for Israel's 2014 Gaza massacre. Human Rights Watch has documented institutionalized discrimination against Palestinians in Israeli universities and a segregated school system. Additionally, high-ranking Israeli education officials have made inflammatory racist remarks such as calling Bedouin Palestinian citizens bloodthirsty and accusing them of illegal activities without repercussions. Extremist anti-Arab and Islamophobic rhetoric by Israeli academics, including calls for horrific actions against Palestinian militants' families, often goes unpunished. Furthermore, Israel's relentless attack on Palestinian education, often referred to as the Scholastic Side, dates back to the 1948 Nakba, during which Israel destroyed or confiscated tens of thousands of Palestinian books. During the First Palestinian Intifada between 1987 and 1993, Israel shut down all Palestinian universities, some for several years. It closed all 1,194 Palestinian schools and kindergartens, forcing Palestinians to create an illegal network of underground schools. Palestinian scholars and students are systematically denied their basic rights, including academic freedom, and frequently face imprisonment, travel restrictions, and violent attacks. In its 2014 assault on Gaza, Israel targeted at least 153 schools, including 90 run by the UN and Gaza's largest university. Israeli universities have not only remained silent, but have often directly supported or justified the state's ongoing oppression of Palestinian education. Lastly, in response to Israeli universities' long-standing complicity in denying Palestinian rights, the PACBI issued a call in 2004 for an academic boycott of all Israeli academic institutions. PACBI's guidelines, aligned with the internationally accepted definition of academic freedom, outline how the boycott should target Israeli institutions rather than individuals. The guidelines call for refusing any form of academic and cultural cooperation with Israeli institutions, advocating for a comprehensive boycott of Israeli institutions both nationally and internationally, promoting divestment from Israel by international academic institutions, working towards institutional condemnation of Israeli policies, and directly supporting Palestinian academic cultural institutions without requiring them to partner with Israeli counterparts. The academic boycott of Israel has gained significant momentum, drawing attention to the complicity of Israeli universities in the oppression of Palestinians. This campaign, supported by numerous academics and academic associations worldwide, has achieved notable milestones. One significant achievement was by the decision of the University of Johannesburg to sever ties with Ben Gurion University in Israel. This move came from an appeal signed by 400 academics from various South African universities and support from major trade unions in the country. The decision by UJ Senate to allow its formal relationship with BGU to lapse on April 1, 2011, marked a significant victory for the academic boycott movement. Additionally, various academic associations and unions around the world have endorsed the academic boycott. These include prominent organizations such as the American Studies Association, National Women's Studies Association, and the African Literature Association. Trade unions like the Teachers Union of Ireland and student representative boards like the Qatar University Student Representative Board have also endorsed the boycott. Furthermore, thousands of academics from countries like South Africa, the US, the UK, India, and Brazil have signed statements in support of the academic boycott of Israel. Not only this, but the US California Public University agrees to the academic boycott of Israel. The president of a public university in Northern California stepped down shortly after supporting an academic boycott of Israel, which led to an agreement with the pro-Palestinian protesters to remove their tent encampment. This move drew criticism from Jewish groups and lawmakers. In addition to endorsing the boycott, Sonoma State University's Michael Lee agreed to form an advisory council with Students for Justice in Palestine to monitor the deal. The agreement, considered a milestone, marked the first time an American university committed to an academic boycott of Israel. Lee later apologized, acknowledging that his statements had harmed other students in the community. He clarified that his views did not reflect those of California State University's system, and announced his leave of absence to reflect on the situation. The deal involved divestment discussions and a commitment to not engage with Israeli state institutions. Sonoma State University pledged to update its materials and websites to reflect the terminated programs. It affirmed its commitment to academic freedom and expressed a willingness to collaborate with Palestinian scholars. The SJP Advisory Council formed to ensure accountability, would comprise members from various campus stakeholders, and meet regularly. However, the agreement faced criticism from local Jewish organizations and State Senator Scott Weiner, who accused Lee of aligning with the BDS movement, which seeks Israel's destruction. Meanwhile, at the University of California, Irvine, pro-Palestinian protesters occupied a building, promoting police intervention and class cancellations. The demonstration was part of a series of protests across US campuses against Israel, advocating for an end to the conflict and calling for divestment from Israeli interests. So what do you think of this academy boycott in Israel and its impact worldwide? Comment below your views and subscribe for more.